Welcome once more to Media TV. This is the part 2 of 2023. Tinubu will regret the alliance with the North by Femi, Fani, Kayode. So let us continue the discussion now on Buhari, Tinubu, Osinbajo, Obasanjo, Awolowo, Jonathan, the North, the South, IPOB, the Civil War, and the Biafran question. We'll get back to say question number 7. The reporter asked, the Civil War was followed by succession of military regimes. In 1999, Nigeria returned to democracy. How well would you say we have done as a democratic nation since 1999? Femi, Fani, Kayode answered, I don't think we have a real democracy, and I will tell you why. In a real democracy, political parties can be formed based on whatever criteria you choose. Anyone can literally get up and say, this is my party, register it. I'm going to run as an independent candidate, as whatever, in my local government area. But here, INEC, which is essentially a tool for government of the day to control everything in terms of elections, and if you have a man who is the chairman of INEC working against you as the president, which is what happened in 2015 by Atihuru Jega. Yes, Jega worked against Jonathan at that time. I am accusing him of that right here in this interview. And I am also saying that there was time he was asked to resign. And the evidence was clear on why he should and why he should have resigned. But, in my view, very naively, the former president, Jonathan, decided to keep him there. If you can control INEC and the chairman of INEC as an opposition party, or if you can put your man there to run INEC, as this government has done since 2015, then you know you have no democracy. Yes, they can let you win some states as they did in 2019, but you can't. But you can rig, but they can rig you out wherever they like, however they like it. If you control the courts and you can remove the Chief Justice of Nigeria just like that, or you can raid the houses of judges at night with the DSS, and you have more or less captured the judiciary, you have intimidated the judges, you have a democracy in that mess? No. And neither do you have rule of law. If you can send DSS officers to the National Assembly to go and raid the places and lock out legislators because you cannot control that place, as happened some months back, if you remember, during the time of Saraki in the 8th Senate. Because Saraki was smart and because Saraki was outspoken, they raided. Today, the APC by design controls the National Assembly. They control it because they control virtually all the elections. And so they returned as many people as possible through INEC. Mostly, the processes were unfair. They control the election tribunals, in my view. They control the courts, in my view. And they also control the media, in my view. Because this kind of interview, I will be surprised if you publish it. I am saying this here. Femi Kayode, GEJ Media will now analyze. Yes, we are aware that this interview cannot be published in the mainstream newspapers. We are aware that this interview cannot be read by so many Nigerians. That is why in GEJ Media, the defender of the truth, the only channel that speaks the truth, behind the headline that people read, behind the headline that people cannot see anywhere in the web. That is why we have taken it upon ourselves, not only to reproduce it, but also to make it and to put it in a digital way that every single Nigerian lovers of truth will listen, share, for generations unborn, generations to come, will listen and they will learn that this nation called Nigeria. So we say, and we know it, the government, as we say today, they control the television. If you go there, and you say anything against them that is very strong and that is very factual, the NBC will come down on that television station and they will call you, ask you not to come back again. And that's what you call democracy. Femi Kayode queried. That is tyranny. It is dictatorship. And everything that I have, everything that Femi Fani Kayode said in 2015 during the course of the election, that would have happened if Buhari became the president has happened. Not only Femi, Fani, Kayode, GEJ media also warned Nigerians not to return President Muhammad Buhari, that if they do, they will be begging for food. Today, what are they doing? Just a government that woke up one day, closed the border, in the pretense that they are fighting smugglers. Who has ever closed his shop because some people come to his shop unannounced? Is it not for you to make sure that you have modalities in place put in your shop to make sure that people don't come and take your goods? Rather, you close shop. No customer comes in, no customer goes out. Yet, you want to become a millionaire. You want to grow as a nation. That is basically arrant nonsense. Femi Kayode continues. And everybody that insulted me then, laughed at me then, and said I was talking rubbish, even from within the PDP itself, they are all now being prosecuted. All of them are now calling me to say I was right. Of course, I knew I was right all along. And everybody that stood with the APC then, including Atiku, Obasanjo, Kwankwaso, Tamboa, Dino Melaye, Saraki, has come back now, and they have come back to their senses. And we at GEJ Media will once more analyze and we say, this is called brain reset. Their brains are being resetted when we were telling them they never listened. They called us haters. Now we know who hates who. Femi Kayode now continues. And now they are all victims of this monster that they've helped in creating in 2015. GEJ Media will now say further, the only person yet to be consumed is Bola Ahmed Tinubu, but we will come to his own. Let us continue. Now, we fought them in 2015 and we are still fighting them up to today. And at the end of the day, we will continue to fight them. Not as individuals, because I have nothing against anybody personally. If anything, I have more friends in the APC than in the PDP. That's the truth. But in terms of ideological politics, and I think it's best for my country, I see them as immortal enemies. I see them as nothing but darkness. That is how Femi Kayode describes the APC. And I see those that seek to liberate this country from the shackles of light and the vessel and the tools of God to fight the darkness. That is my position, Femi Kayode said. So, if you ask me what do I believe we have, if you ask me if I do believe we have a democracy, my answer is no, and that is capital no. They have corrupted our democracy. They have abused it, and I know this was going to happen. And let me tell you, my people, that it's going to get worse. We at GEJ Media will finally add, my people, GEJ Media is advising every one of you to go get your seatbelt. That ride is going to get rougher. It's going to get rougher. We know that, we know for a fact. Question number 8. What has APC done to our democracy since they took power in 2015 that made you to arrive at this conclusion? Femi Kayode answers. Since 2015, what have they done? He asked the reporter back. First, they introduced religion and ethnicity into government. Every security agency in the government, whether the military, the one that have to do with the external or internal security, 17 agencies in all, they are all in the hands of the northern Nigerian Muslims, except for one, which is the Navy. Yes, we at GEJ Media believe the guy that heads the Navy is from Calabar, from River State, Cross River State, which is the south region. Femi Kayode continues. And that is unacceptable. In a multi-religious, multicultural, multi-ethnic society like Nigeria, a situation where the whole of the judiciary, from the Supreme Court to the Court of Appeal, the Federal High Court, has just changed now, but the 3 tiers of judiciary were being headed by northern Muslims. We know about the CJN, that is the Chief Justice of Nigeria, who does not know what technicalities mean. Rather, he was trying to explain the whole thing with driving an aeroplane. A Chief Justice say that an aeroplane can be driven. Isn't that the height of insanity? GEJ Media adds. Femi Kayode continues. It's just now that we have only one being headed by Northern Christian, that is the Federal High Court, a situation whereby in the National Assembly, the Senate is headed by a Northern Muslim. House of Representative, headed by Southern Muslim, Femi Bajabiamila. He is a good friend of mine, by the way. I have known him for over 40 years. I must note that. But he is a Muslim as well. So you have Muslims heading both wings of the National Assembly. And you know what they have done with Bajabiamila? They have surrounded him with Muslims. His deputy is also a Muslim. The 4 principal officers around him are also Muslims. So, what is there for us in the place, in the executive? Apart from the security agencies, as you have all known, there is nothing there for every other person. This is indeed tragedy. From the security agencies, looking at all the key appointments, 9 times out of 10, they go to northern Muslims. It is indeed unbelievable and a sad situation. Go to the villa today. The official language is Hausa. 90% of the people that are working there in the villa are all northern Muslims. Look at the appointment of chief executive of key agencies. They were northern Muslims. How can we run a nation that way? Look at the ministerial appointments. In terms of substance, the Northwest, where the president come from. That is the Hausa Fulanese catchment area. You have 10 substantive ministers. 10 substantive ministries. Those are full ministries, not ministers of state, but 10, as in number 10 in the Northwest. 10 in the Northwest. Next is the Southwest, where I come from. We have 5 substantive ministers. And everywhere else, the Southeast, the North Central, the Northeast have 3 substantive ministers. Now, how do you equate 10 and 3? This is unbelievable. 10 and 3. That means the Northwest, where Buhari comes from, which is Fulani heartland, has over 3 times the number of substantive ministers and ministries that all other zones have, except the Southwest. And Southwest are only half the number of what the Northwest have. The question that I, Fani Kayode, will ask, is this fair? Is this fair? Is this how you run a federation? Is this fair? This is not how you run a federation. What we at Ngenje Media will say, eventually, no matter how you look at it, mistakes has been made. Obasanjo them have made those mistakes and they brought Buhari into power. Even Tinubu, we believe at Ngenje Media, as Femi Kayode has said, he's riding at the back of a horse, of a tiger. Eventually, that tiger that Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has brought to power will eventually consume him. Watch this space and you will see events as they unfold. Once more, this is Ngenje Media channel. Thanks for staying with us. We will continue to review such and we will continue to bring you the news and the content behind the headlines you read like in no other channel will do. Once more, stay blessed.